What if the most dangerous weapon you carry isn't a gun, a knife, or even your fists, but your own mouth? Not every threat comes from the outside. Sometimes, the deadliest strike comes from the words you let slip too soon, to the wrong person. In a moment of false comfort, the world doesn't just hear you. It remembers you. It collects you, your patterns, your habits, your secrets. And then one day, it uses what you gave away against you. Because not all exposure is innocent, and not all silence is weakness. What you share casually, someone else may see as an opportunity, a map, a weakness, an opening. So before you speak, pause. Because some truths don't need to be heard. They need to be protected. We live in a digital cage, a surveillance culture disguised as connection, where people volunteer their private lives, not knowing that visibility is currency. You tag your location. You post your thoughts. You update the world in real time, forgetting that the world isn't just your audience, it's your potential adversary. Modern life has turned us into our own informants. And what used to require spies and surveillance vans now comes freely from your camera roll, your captions, your comments. But Stoicism doesn't teach fear. It teaches awareness. It teaches control. The discipline to choose what deserves to be revealed and what must remain private. The Stoic doesn't speak to be heard. He speaks only when it's necessary. He knows that silence isn't passive. It's strategic. In this video, we're going to expose 5 types of information, 5 harmless secrets most people give away without hesitation that can quietly destroy your safety, your freedom, or your reputation. You think you're just sharing, but sometimes you're setting a trap for yourself. So stay sharp, because what you don't say might be the only thing keeping you safe. Most people don't realize how dangerous success looks until it's already cost them something. You get a new house. You post the keys. You pay off your debt. You make a joke about your bonus. You share because you're proud. Because social media taught you that every milestone deserves applause. But here's what you forget. The world doesn't only clap, it calculates. To your friends, it might be celebration. To a stranger, it's a blueprint. Take Rachel, for example. Hard-working, disciplined. She saved for years to buy her first home. And like anyone else, she shared the moment. A photo of her smiling on the front porch, gaze in hand, a welcome mat beneath her feet. There was no red flag in the post, except to someone who knew how to read between the lines. 2 months later, 2 break-in attempts. One while she was out of town, one during her 9-to-5 shift. Nothing flashy was taken. Nothing flashy needed to be. She wasn't a millionaire. She was just attainable. And that's exactly who predators target, because billionaires are too protected, too much trouble. But you're successful enough to have something valuable and visible enough to forget who might be watching. And the threat isn't always physical. Oversharing financial success can also open doors to emotional manipulation. Romantic partners who see your wealth as leverage. Friends who start treating you like a safety net. Social fallout, subtle resentment from people who once supported you. Legal vulnerability. Casual posts used against you in lawsuits, custody hearings, or audits. That small brag, finally debt-free, might sound like confidence to you, but to someone else, it sounds like opportunity or entitlement. This is where the Stoic lens becomes crucial. Celebrate in silence. Secure your wins privately. The Stoics didn't seek recognition. They sought mastery. They knew that true success isn't something you broadcast, it's something you guard. You don't need to show the world what you've earned. You need to protect it. Because the more people know about what you have, the more they feel entitled to it. And the more exposed you become to forces outside your control. So here's the new mindset: got promoted, keep it quiet. Bought something expensive, enjoy it offline. Made a financial leap. Celebrate with people who already love you, not people who only follow you. You don't owe the world proof that you're winning. What's impressive isn't what you reveal. It's what you're disciplined enough to keep to yourself. Next time you feel the urge to post something that screams, "I made it," ask yourself this: who needs to know this? And who could use this against me? Because power that relies on display isn't real power. And pride that seeks attention usually pays for it later. You don't have to say, "I'm here." You already did. That tagged coffee shop post. The beach photo uploaded while your feet are still in the sand. The dinner story time-stamped to the second. We've normalized sharing where we are, while we're still there. And that right there is the problem. Because while you're thinking, "I'm just sharing a moment," someone else is thinking, "Now I know exactly where you are and where you're not." Let's go deeper. Let's talk about Maya. She was living life. Loud, bright, bubbly, always online. One weekend, her fiancé surprised her with a trip to Lake Tahoe. She documented it all: the scenic drive, the cozy cabin, the snowshoeing trail. Even posted, "No signal, no problem." But there was a problem. Someone she had quietly cut off months earlier never stopped watching. He didn't follow her to Tahoe. He went to her apartment, the one she just left unattended. He didn't steal anything. He went through her drawers, her closet, touched her private space, not to take, but to feel close, to assert power, to remind her that her silence didn't mean she was alone. That's when you realize oversharing your location doesn't just invite theft. It invites obsession, revenge, control. And the threat is no longer just human. Today's predators don't need to follow you. They can find you using AI and deep learning systems that analyze lighting to determine time of day, match objects and furniture to known places, use reflections, shadows, even a clock on the wall to triangulate location. You didn't say where you were. Your background did. That's not science fiction. That's the current reality. So here's the Stoic pivot. We don't fear the world. We master it. Which is why I want you to start practicing something I call digital trail camouflage. It means this: share moments after they've passed. Blur identifiers in the background. Avoid posting routines in real time. Speak vogue. Post selectively. Think like someone who has something to protect. Because you do. You don't need to live in hiding. You need to live with awareness. The Stoics didn't document every step. They didn't need the world to know where they were. They only cared about where they stood internally. And in a world where attention is monetized and privacy is disposable, stillness is your edge. Mystery is your armor. So the next time you feel the urge to post while you're on the move, stop, breathe. Ask yourself, is this for connection or to be noticed? And if someone dangerous saw this, what would they now know about me? Because in this game, the strongest position isn't visibility, it's unpredictability. Let your location be sacred. Let your presence be felt, not tracked. And when you move, move like the Stoics did, quietly, intentionally, untraceably. So far, we've talked about what happens when you expose where you are. But just as dangerous is exposing how you protect yourself, or worse, that you don't. Every fortress has a weakness, and the moment you describe your defenses, you invite others to study how to get around them. Greg didn't know he was setting himself up. Tech-savvy, proud of his new security setup. He shared it in a Facebook group for home renovations. Nothing dramatic. Just a casual post about installing a biometric safe, mentioning it was tucked behind the suits in the master closet, Bond style. A few weeks later, he came home to a break-in. No mess. No forced entry. Just gone. The safe, with heirlooms, cash, his late grandfather's vintage watch. The thief didn't need to break a window. They already had the floor plan. Greg gave it to them. Here's what most people still don't understand. Security is strongest when it's invisible. The moment you talk about it, it becomes a challenge, a test, a puzzle waiting to be solved. Even jokes like, "I don't even lock my door out here," or "Don't worry, my dog's my alarm system," may sound harmless, but to the wrong ears, they say, "There's no resistance here," because criminals don't chase conflict. They follow convenience. They study silence and pounce on confidence that speaks too loud. And in today's world, your fortress isn't just your home. It's your smart devices, your Ring camera, Alexa, smart lock, garage app. Each one is a door, and every door online can be hacked. Just because it feels high-tech doesn't mean it's secure. And just because you bought it doesn't mean you should talk about it. Visibility is temptation. Temptation is strategy fuel. And strategy always favors the patient. So what do? The answer is simple, but it requires discipline. Stop narrating your defense. Don't show where your cameras are. Don't tell people where you keep your protection. Never explain what you would do if someone broke in. If someone asks, just say, "I'm covered," and move on. Make them guess. Let them wonder, because uncertainty is the ultimate deterrent. The Stoics understood this long before alarms and safes existed. Protection is silent. Visibility is temptation. You don't talk about your sword. You let the silence around you remind people you might have one, because power isn't in what you show. It's in what others fear you might be capable of. So next time you feel the need to share something about your security, ask yourself, am I proving I'm safe, or am I making someone else curious? The safest home isn't the one with the most cameras. It's the one no one feels confident enough to approach. So keep it sacred. Keep it silent. Keep it off the radar. Because in a world of watchers, the fortress they can't see is the one they'll never try to breach. We often hear this: be vulnerable, share your truth, let people in. And yes, there's power in honesty, but only if it's placed in the right hands. Because in the wrong hands, your vulnerability becomes a blueprint, a way in, a lever to be pulled. Jordan learned this the hard way. Soft-spoken, kind. He had recently gone through chemotherapy, and like many seeking support, he shared his journey in a local online group. He posted updates about his treatment, his fatigue, his loneliness. Most people left kind messages, but not everyone came to comfort. One day, while Jordan was home, drugged up, resting, someone broke in. No confrontation, no sound. They didn't need to, because they already knew he wouldn't fight back. They weren't guessing, they were harvesting. That's the danger people don't talk about. Not all threats wear masks. Some smile first. Some ask how you're doing so they can find out where you're weak. It's called vulnerability baiting. The manipulator presents as a safe space. They listen. They agree. They mirror your emotions. And as soon as your walls drop, they collect your trauma, your fears, your guilt, all stored for later, when they need control. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They didn't fear connection. They practiced tactical vulnerability, sharing only what was necessary, only with people who earned it. Some truths are sacred. Speak them where they'll be honored, not harvested. Not every pain belongs in a comment section. Not every truth should live on a public timeline. Not every tear needs to be live-streamed. You can be real without being readable. So what do? Save your pain for people who prove safe. Share privately. Keep your circle small and your disclosures intentional. Don't perform wounds for validation. Don't weaponize your story or let someone else do it for you. Ask yourself, do I want connection or attention? Would I say this? If I knew someone was writing it down, that answer will tell you everything. Because the most dangerous information isn't what others keep from you. It's what you give away, thinking the world will protect it, when in fact, the world is watching to see how to use it. Your health, your trauma, your fears. These aren't content. They're sacred territory. And in the wrong hands, they become psychological weapons. So live with strength, connect with care, and above all, guard your truths like you guard your home. Because once spoken, they no longer belong to you. And once misused, they rarely come back the same. You're not careless. You're just human. And that's exactly what hackers are counting on. They're not breaking into your life with crowbars. They're doing it with breadcrumbs, tiny fragments of truth that you gave away yourself. Take Melissa. She was smart, cautious, a middle school teacher with a private profile and good habits, but she liked those get-to-know-me quizzes on Instagram. So she shared. First pet, Lucky. Hometown Dayton, Ohio. High school Roosevelt class of 2007. Favorite car, her silver Corolla. Graduation photo with the school name clearly visible. It all felt innocent until she got locked out of her accounts. Email, banking, shopping apps, gone. A few harmless posts, and someone had answered almost every security question tied to her identity. She didn't get hacked because she was reckless. She got hacked because she trusted the idea that personal stories are harmless. They're not. They're puzzle pieces. And someone out there is just patient enough to put them together. And now, it gets worse. We live in a world where AI voice spoofing is real. All it takes is a few clips of you talking, maybe from TikTok or a podcast, and suddenly your bank's voice verification system is fooled by something that sounds like you, but isn't. This isn't future tech. It's happening. Now, you're not being hacked. You're being replicated. So what can you do? Control the puzzle. Feed it false pieces. Create what Stoics would call false anchors. Use fake answers to security questions that only you know. Don't post nostalgia content with dates, schools, or relatives. Blur yearbook photos. Be careful with birthday wishes and anniversary tags. Audit your profile the way you'd audit your bank account, because it's just as valuable. The Stoics didn't have social media, but they understood exposure. They knew that once something is out, you can't control how it's used. Guard your digital self like your body. One crack, and the whole wall falls. So the next time you're about to post that throwback photo, pause it. Not because you're paranoid, because you're prepared. The strongest version of you isn't the one who overshares and hopes for safety. It's the one who knows that not everything sacred needs to be seen. Your past, your family, your identifiers. Protect them, distort the trail, and leave no blueprint behind. Because in a world of AI, impersonators, and invisible threats, your best defense isn't a password, it's silence. Let's make this clear. In a world that watches, records, analyzes, and waits, your protection isn't built on how loud you are. It's built on what you refuse to reveal. 5 things. 5 truths that seem harmless, but if exposed, can cost you everything. Don't share your financial status. It marks you as a target. Don't post your location in real time. It invites the wrong eyes. Don't talk about your security setup. It turns protection into a puzzle. Don't confess your wounds publicly. It hands your enemies the blueprint. Don't expose personal data. It builds a replica someone else will weaponize. This isn't about fear. This is about strategy, about calculated silence, about living on your terms, not the algorithms. You're not hiding. You're controlling the narrative. You're choosing when, where, and if you speak. That's not weakness. That's power. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to be unreadable. So if this made you think twice, subscribe. If it made you rethink how you protect your life, share it with someone you care about. Because survival in the modern world isn't about who's the strongest. It's about who knows what to keep sacred. Stay sharp, stay unreadable, and stay dangerous in silence.